Very good evening, welcome to Champions League Live this Wednesday evening as we round off match day 3 of the UEFA Champions League here on LFS. Great to have your company for this one tonight in our feature game of the evening. Eintracht Frankfurt hosting Liverpool in Germany. Let's have a look at all of tonight's games then. 2 early kickoffs this evening, both home teams winning by 3-1. Athletic Club 3-1 winners against Karabag, and Galatasaray backing up that win against Liverpool at home on match day 2 with a back-to-back victory against Bodo Glimt 3-1 there this evening. 3 English teams in action tonight. Spurs have their trip to AS Monaco after Manchester City's trip to Monaco on match day 2. Chelsea host Ajax, and of course our feature game is Liverpool's trip to Eintracht Frankfurt. Also this evening, Atalanta host Slavia Prague. In that one, Bayern Munich hosting Club Brugge. Juventus head to Real Madrid. That's a very good game to look forward to. And Sporting take on Marseille. That is our 7 games that will kick off at 8 o'clock this evening. But before that, let's have a quick look at kind of where Liverpool sit at the moment. Of course, come into this one after that defeat to Manchester United at the weekend. But are they losing the slot? That's one I came up with myself. Pretty proud of it, if I do so myself. Well, since that win over Southampton in the Carabao Cup third round, they have lost 4 games in a row in all competitions, Liverpool. That defeat away at Crystal Palace, that late a goal from Eddie Nketiah, won the game for Palace at Sellers Park. Galatasaray, of course, the last time out in the Champions League, 1-0 victors through that very controversial penalty. But Liverpool really poor in front of goal that night. The Chelsea game as well, another late conceded goal that ultimately curtailed Liverpool and lost a 3rd game in a row before that Man United defeat, their first home defeat of the season. 3 of those 4 defeats are on the road, of course, but that 2-1 defeat to Man United will hurt even more. And now Liverpool on their longest losing streak since 2014. But history will be on the side of Liverpool not losing tonight, because it is very, very rare that they ever lose 5 in a row, Liverpool. But Frankfurt will be hoping that a team damaged by their recent form will be the Liverpool team that arrives tonight. But we will get to the team news very soon, because there's some very interesting team news to bring you as well. But more generally, on match day 3 in the Champions League so far, it has been full of goals and full of action to this point. Last night we recorded an incredible night of action, 43 goals in our 9 games across yesterday evening. And this is the list of the highest scoring Champions League match days, 2 of which of the top 5 are already this season, and the record is this season, joint on last season's 67 goals is the record for the most goals in a single Champions League match day, which would count as tonight and yesterday. So we're on 43. We need just 25 goals to break that record. We already have 8 in the bank, so that is a total of 51. So we just need 17 goals from our 7 games tonight, which you would feel is very likely to happen. But we will see. Of course, 67 is the record. We can get into the top 5. 62 on match day 2, 63. In 2000 and 2001, match day 1, that was just the 16 game of course match day, so that's even more impressive. And then of the course match day 8 of last season was 64 goals. But we could be on for a record-breaking night tonight if we get 17 goals from our 7 games kicking off at 8 o'clock or more. We will have the most goals in a single Champions League match day for the that will be 3 of the top 6 would be of this season. That will be quite fantastic. So a trend going in the right direction. Let's have a look at the 2 teams then for tonight's game between Eintracht Frankfurt and Liverpool. And starting with the home side this evening, they have Michael Zederer in goal. A back 4 of Christiansen, Amenda, Robin Koch, the captain, and Artur Theat in defence. In midfield, Mario Götze, and of course alongside him, Ugo Larsson. In the 10 is Ritsu Doan. On the right-hand side is Ansgar Knauf. On the left side is Nathaniel Brown. And leading the line for Eintracht Frankfurt tonight is Jean-Matteo Bohoya. On the bench for Frankfurt, Graal, Santos, Buta, Collins, Chaibi, Shaqiri, Dahoud, Chandler, Uzun, Burgart, Wall, and Michi Batshuayi, a name I haven't heard in quite a while. For Liverpool, it's 5 changes from that defeat to Manchester United in the week. Marmardashvili continues in goal with Alisson still out injured. Jeremy Frimpong comes in at right back this evening alongside Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk, and Andy Robertson comes in as Liverpool change both fullbacks. Curtis Jones starts in midfield alongside Dominic Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz with a front 3, or could be a front 4 possibly, of Cody Gakpo, who had so many chances against Man United to score at the weekend. Hit the post 3 times in that game. Ugo Ekitike, who's had good form since his move from Eintracht Frankfurt to Liverpool, and he starts up front alongside Alexander Isak, whose big money move is yet to really live fruitful for Liverpool, and certainly Ekitike the more fruitful and certainly the most frivolous in front of goal for the Reds so far this season. On the bench, Woodman, Muskier, Gomez, Kerkez, Bradley, Endo, McAllister, Salah, Chiesa and Rio Gamora. Of course, the big news that Mo Salah is benched tonight. But the point being made that he's not producing, and that's no one can buy their way into the Liverpool side, no matter who you are. And that is the point that's made tonight by Arne Slot. Wataru Endo, of course, returns from injury as well. Still no Ryan Gravenberch tonight, which is an interesting one for Liverpool. And Leone and Bajcetic and Alisson all still out injured. So, it is a big night in the Champions League. Liverpool, can they end that losing streak? It's 4 in a row now. Will that come to an end tonight? Or will Frankfurt apply even more misery to what has been a pretty dismal last few weeks for Liverpool fans? Kick-off in Frankfurt is next. A very good evening. Welcome to Champions League Live. I would want to start tonight by thanking you all for joining us and getting us to 30,000 subscribers. We hit the mark earlier on today, so thank you all so much for that. It is greatly appreciated. We thank you all very, very much for that. Well, let's see what we can get out of tonight's game and all of our games this evening. It is going to be a very intriguing match day. And certainly a very interesting way for Liverpool to try and fight their way back into what has been a torrid run of form for Arne Slot's Reds. And what was a fantastic first season, but a fantastic start to this season, which has turned pretty sour pretty quickly, of course, for Liverpool. But they start tonight hoping that they can turn that around as Frankfurt are in with a chance down the right, but Virgil van Dijk puts it behind for the corner. That was Doan there down that right-hand side in the first few seconds. Liverpool have their first corner to defend, of course, the end of which their fans reside in the far left corner of the field here. And that was Ritsu Doan who put that ball in and got the deflection. So corner, he takes it short. Lifted ball into the box, away by Konate. Flicked back in and headed away by Szoboszlai now. This Frimpong on the press. Well won again by Liverpool as Wirtz tries to fire one forward quickly. Of course, back in the country of which he played his football for the last number of years, Florian Wirtz. As There's another foul, this time a foul on Doan by Robertson. Yeah, Doan did really well, just takes the ball past Andy Robertson, and Robertson with a little late challenge. He seems to have maybe hurt his shoulder there, Ritsu Doan, but it's okay to continue. Ball down the right hand side, nicely intercepted by Robertson. And so far Sporting have started their game, it's what I spotted in the corner of my eye there, but Frankfurt have started the better of these two teams early doors, trying to test Liverpool right from the kick-off, maybe put them under a little bit of pressure. It's interesting to see what way Liverpool will play tonight, of course, with the two centre forwards in Ugo Ekitike and Isak, no Salah, and what seems to be a very attack-minded midfield as well. And that's one thing that has been a struggle for Liverpool, is putting the ball into the back of the net, something that early in the season we didn't think we would be saying. They were free flowing in front of goal, but they've been off it in the last few weeks between the sticks, certainly more so on Sunday against Manchester United, when they, as I said, hit the woodwork multiple times and had massive chances, completely missed the target. Frankfurt with the majority of the possession. There's a ball in behind here. A run in behind by Knauf. Tracked all the way out there by Konate. Here's Doan. Fires it in behind, looking for a target. And nicely shielded out there by Curtis Jones for a goal kick. And there's the Frankfurt manager, Dino Topmoller. Of course, knows certainly very well one of the Liverpool players tonight, Ugo Ekitike. Of course, was his player last season, before Liverpool made that big money move in the summer for the Frenchman. And actually a move that's probably been Liverpool's best summer move, some would argue. Certainly able to get on the score sheet for Liverpool so far. Scored 5 goals, got 1 assist in his 11 previous appearances for the Reds, which is a pretty positive start. Frimpong there battling, winning the ball back fairly, says the referee, is Soboslai now. Taken down by Gakpo. The crowd not happy with that decision, as Robertson trying to find Ekitike, trying to scrape in to get the ball, but nicely closed out. And now Frankfurt have it in the middle, as Larsson lays it out to Artur Tayat at left back. And of course, Frankfurt have had a very topsy-turvy first 2 match days. They had an unbelievable start, a 5-1 win against Galatasaray in match day 1, and then a 5-1 thumping by Atletico Madrid on match day 2. So very contrasting results for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League so far. And actually, these two teams have played the exact same two teams in their first 2 match days. Liverpool played Atletico Madrid on match day 1. Frankfurt played them on match day 2. And Liverpool faced Galatasaray on match day 2, a team which Frankfurt played on match day 1. Very intriguing little stat, that. As Robertson fires one down the left channel. Again, easily dealt with, but the second ball brought down by Ekitike. Nice little chop inside. Lays it off now to Wirtz. Running it back to Curtis Jones. Lays it out wide to Gakpo. Back to Curtis Jones, and Liverpool just trying to get some sort of possession in these early moments. We have our first goal of the night that's come at the Allianz Arena between Bayern Munich and Club Brugge, and Bayern absolutely firing the goals. They won their Klassiker at the weekend against Borussia Dortmund, and they have taken the lead, have the German champions. Bayern Munich 1, Club Brugge 0. They're in the same country of which this game is in, and Leonard Karl is the scorer, set up by Jonathan Tah, interestingly. So it's Bayern Munich 1, Club Brugge 0. And one thing about Arne Slot this season is he's still really not got his best team. That is the disruption to Liverpool so far this season. Even when they were winning games, they were nowhere near their best. They're nowhere near the quality that we know they're capable of, but and certainly were capable of last season. But one thing about Liverpool is they just seem to find that balance. I think it is what I would call an unpolished diamond. There are moments in this team that can really be special. We've already seen it early in the season, but we're now seeing the more frustrating sides of the game when they don't get the balance right. Oh, that's an awkward back pass here. Chance for Frankfurt in behind. Good save by Marmadashvili. And then the recovery there by Virgil van Dijk to deny it, but it was an awkward back pass that was really allowed Frankfurt in. We see this again. They play it across with Doan, trying to play it through, and just deflects off a Liverpool player. Goes right the way through. I think he's onside. Nonetheless, there in the end, Bahoya, comes off Curtis Jones, so he can't be offside, surely. Unless that's deemed an unintentional touch, that's when it would be offside. But that was a very lucky moment, but well saved by Marmadashvili. That's what it always seems like. Liverpool are a couple of seconds away from being under a lot of pressure, and that's the issue with Arne Slot's team. They look really vulnerable defensively, unable to really see out opponents at the minute. Conceding the first goal doesn't help either. Putting themselves on a back foot early doors in a game is certainly not the springboard that the best teams in the world use. That's a ball over the top here. Alexander Isak, and as he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper in Zetura. Lovely chip ball over the top, and Isak made the run in behind, and it was straight at the goalkeeper who made a save. It's a little better from Liverpool on that moment. Here's Artur Teyats. 8 minutes gone. Frankfurt 0, Liverpool 0. Both sides have had sight of goal, but both goalkeepers denying. Andy says Gakpo is Liverpool's best player to create chances at the moment. But I hear the fans are not happy with Gakpo. Well, I wouldn't understand if the Liverpool fans weren't happy with Gakpo. I think Gakpo has been, and certainly in the last few weeks, Liverpool, one of Liverpool's best performers. Certainly consistency levels have been there. I think it's just the finishing that has kind of been more disappointing. But, I mean, look at the many chances he had against Manchester United. He scored that goal against Chelsea that got them back into it. He does score big goals, and that's really nicely worked there by Wirtz, and a beautiful forward pass. And now it's Gakpo, lays it off to Alexander Isak, who tries to tuck it in. Nice save by Zetura. That was much better football from Liverpool. Beautiful from Wirtz on the edge of his own box to win it back. Pings one forward, and Gakpo laid it off out wide to Alexander Isak. Takes it in a stride and tries to find the bottom corner. Nicely saved by the Frankfurt goalkeeper down to his left side, but that was better from Liverpool. Really good from back to front. We see that earlier chance for Isak. He's miles onside. Great chip ball by Szoboszlai, and he tries to chip the goalkeeper and just hits him in Zetura. But that's two big chances for Isak, and the goalkeeper emerging the better on both. But it's promising for Liverpool. Szoboszlai to take this corner on the right side. Right-footed delivery, lofted into the air, up towards Van Dijk. Just cleared away by Frankfurt as Szoboszlai recycles, but there's a player down. Two Frankfurt players down, actually. And both with injuries that the referee has to make sure they're okay. Francois Letessier is our referee. See that delivery again, and it's Van Dijk going up for the header, and then there's two players that, well, actually two separate moments. Oh, Christ. That was a real thumper there on the number 21, Nathaniel Brown. He was caught by his own captain, Robin Koch, there trying to defend, and then the other player down as well. So two for Frankfurt, but both should be okay, which is a very good sign. Remember, you could be on for a record-breaking scoring night in the Champions League tonight. We need 17 goals or more from our 8 o'clock kickoffs this evening. We have one, so we're down to 16. or more with Bayern's goal against Club Brugge. But it's been last night was absolute chaos at the best of times. It was fabulous to watch. I mean, number of teams, Barcelona in the early window scoring 6, PSG scoring 7, PSV scoring 6, and then Arsenal with 4, Inter with 4, Dortmund with 4. I mean, it was one of those. And we had a 0-0 last night. We had 43 goals, and we had a 0-0 game. And that shows you how high scoring it was last night. Here's Frimpong. Nice little flick to Wirtz. Back to Frimpong, and now to Szoboszlai. Tight spaces. Ekitike does well holding the ball up, finding Van Dijk, and now out to Robertson. Down the left side comes Gakpo. Back to Robertson, who tried the early cross but blocked. Recycled well by Szoboszlai, and Liverpool will go again. Konate. Wirtz chops onto his left, comes inside and works it back to his captain Van Dijk. Liverpool striding around with possession. Down the left side comes Gakpo again. Has to bring it back to Jones, but Liverpool just trying to take their time. Szoboszlai's forced ball, though, was a little bit bobbly. Allows Frankfurt to clear it away, but it will go all the way back to Marmadashvili, who will quickly give it to his centre-back in Ibrahima Konate, and Liverpool will try and get going again. They seem a little bit more settled at the moment, Liverpool. Seem a little bit more comfortable in possession, but it's not completely foolproof. Here's Robertson. Back to Jones. Down the left side for Gakpo, who was slightly caught there, but it's gone out for a Liverpool throw, which Gakpo takes quickly. Seems to be Liverpool are just looking to keep the rhythm and momentum in this game. Not looking to have too many stoppages to hold them back. Just looking to get some rhythm in their passing in the opposition's half. Here's Isak. Nice hold up. Gives it out wide to Frimpong. Up against Teats. Nice little 1-2 with Wirtz. Back to Frimpong. Not much room as there was an offside flag up down there. Down that side that curtails the Liverpool possession, but a little bit sharper. Frimpong just edging offside there a little bit. Andy says, sorry about the spelling, but Szoboszlai is one of the best true utility players I've ever seen. I'm very hard impressed to name another player in history that can cover as many positions as he can. Well, there are a number of players that have versatility, no doubt about that. But I think Szoboszlai, one thing about him, and he will run 100 miles for this team no matter what. And no matter what position he's playing, no matter what he's told to do, he will do it to the best of his ability. And I think that's been evident with him playing at right back, a position that he doesn't play. It's not his natural area of the field, but made it look not easy, but he made it look as if he was comfortable there, and he certainly was capable. As that ball in behind here towards Isak, carried a little wide to the left. He works it back to Curtis Jones. Had the shot little blocked as Jones tries to keep it alive, and Frankfurt not able to get out of their own half at the moment. Liverpool just having a little bit more control in the game, which is positive for Arne Slot. 15 minutes gone, still goalless, but Liverpool starting to dominate the game a little more. Certainly possession-wise. Here's Curtis Jones. 100% Andy. Milner, like James Milner, would play in every position and any position. We have more goals to tell you about. A second goal for Bayern Munich in their game against Club Brugge. So they've doubled their lead, and Sporting have an opener, I believe, in that one. Or is there a goal in the Sporting game? I'm not too sure about it just yet. As Frimpong down the right-hand side just committing a foul there. It's Marseille that have actually scored against Sporting. So Sporting 1-0 down against Marseille in that one. And I can tell you it is Igor Passau that has scored that one. So Marseille lead by a goal to nil, and Bayern are now 2 up against Club Brugge. Harry Kane. When you hear that Bayern have scored, He's the first name that comes to your mind, Harry Kane, and he has got Bayern's second on 14 minutes. So 2-0 to Bayern Munich. Nice touch there by by Curtis Jones, sorry, but couldn't carry the ball with him. As Frankfurt go all the way back to their goalkeeper. Having one or two technical issues with my feed of the match here, so there's a little bit of graininess, but we will muster on. Always seems to be a little issue. Always seems to be an issue. Here's Mamardashvili. Gets it out wide to Frimpong. Has an issue here, Jeremy Frimpong, as he's just stopped dead. He hasn't gone down, but he's stopped with the ball, and now he is going to go down. And that's an issue for Arne Slot. He doesn't look good at all here. I mean, he looks absolutely gassed. Does Jeremy Frimpong. He does not look okay down there. And could this be in a moment a little earlier? He seems to have winced in pain there with a little battle with Nathaniel Brown, and I think he's clutching at his hamstring there, which is a concern for Liverpool. Of course, no doubt there's a number of options off the bench. Connor Bradley, Joe Gomez, who can both play right back. And of course, Wataru Endo, if necessary, can go there, but it's not someone you want to be throwing there. Of course, Dominic Szoboszlai, who we've just been talking about, can also go to right back. More action to tell you about. We can go to get to the Stamford Bridge. There's been all sorts of drama at Stamford Bridge. Just a moment, actually. Frimpong is coming off. Connor Bradley is coming on. So a straight swap at right back for Liverpool. Bradley on for Jeremy Frimpong. So the drama at Stamford Bridge. Ajax have been sent down to 10 men. So initially, Kenneth Taylor was given a yellow card. VAR overturned it. So it is a red card for Ajax's Kenneth Taylor. And from literally a minute later, Marc Guiu has scored the opener. So it is Chelsea 1, Ajax 0. Ajax also down to 10. So Connor Bradley's on to play right back for Liverpool. And Jeremy Frimpong only lasting around 18 minutes in this one. Gakpo back to Robertson. To Virgil van Dijk, looking for the switch ball. One for Bradley to get on the end of, and nicely taken in. A difficult first touch, but he made it work really nicely. Szoboszlai, and back to Virgil van Dijk. Of course, it'll be interesting to see which way the Liverpool attack and how fluid it is without Mohamed Salah tonight. Here's Wirtz, nice little darted ball across, finding Ekitike, and Szoboszlai switching it out to the left-hand side for Gakpo, chipping into the box and too close to Zatura, who comes and gathers for Frankfurt, but there is seemingly a little bit more fluidity from Liverpool so far. Seems a little more balanced. Could be the way that Frankfurt are playing. We know they are going to sit more deep, allow Liverpool to have the possession and ask Liverpool to try and break them down, and so far that's what Liverpool are trying to do. To no avail as of yet, as Christensen sees out Gakpo down the left side. A Liverpool throw. Szoboszlai. Robertson down the left hand side to Gakpo. Up against Christensen. Gakpo trying to dribble his way through. Cuts it back. Robertson. Jones. Now back out wide to Gakpo, who tried to work the cross, but puts it behind for the corner by Christensen, who wanted a goal kick. Said that Gakpo had the last touch, but the officials have given a corner. It is Liverpool's second corner of the evening, which Cody Gakpo will take down this left-hand side. Having some real technical issues here at the minute. Gakpo's delivery into the box, headed away at the back post, and there's going to be a foul on a Frankfurt player in there, which has caught the referee's attention. And a free kick to the home side. Oh, goodness me. I mean, I get you have to be physical, but Ibrahima Konate there. Goodness me. Body slamming a player. Ball out of play there by Frankfurt. Liverpool will get the throw again. We talked about Liverpool's recent form and the way that they've performed coming into this game, but really it's about trying to eradicate all that for Liverpool tonight, and I think just starting afresh, clean slate, start again. This is a new game, a new week, and kind of a new another go at it, really. I'm just trying to get back on the win column, if you know what I mean. Just get back to what you know best and what you can do, and actually trying to perform. And I think we saw, and I think it's kind of hidden in the fact that the way they lost the Man United game at the weekend, but I actually think Liverpool were a little bit better. I think they were still far too open defensively, but what I saw was actually them creating chances, and that's a positive in the fact that they're creating those chances. Easily Liverpool on another day, probably if they had their shooting boots on, they probably could have had 3, 4, even 5 goals against Man United. The many big chances they actually missed in the end, and Cody Gakpo probably could have had 4 or 5 himself based on the chances he had. So it was one of those games where I think the performance was better in front of goal. It's just one of those games where they just couldn't, for the life of them, put the ball into the back of the net until probably an unmissable chance through Cody Gakpo to equalise. But I think ultimately, so far tonight, it's been a little bit better on the ball. But I think that's also Frankfurt's approach, if you know what I mean. Frankfurt are allowing Liverpool to have a bit more of the ball, so it's about what Liverpool do with it and how they try and break this Frankfurt side down. But I've been slightly more impressed, and certainly trying to get Alexander Isak more involved at Liverpool. He's already had 2 opportunities. Well, these two teams, their only previous meetings came in the 1972-73 UEFA Cup first round. Liverpool won 2-0 at home. Kevin Keegan and Emlyn Hughes scored the goals in a goalless draw in Germany, and Liverpool went on to lift the trophy that year. Christensen battling with Gakpo. Good press by Gakpo, and Liverpool trying to close Frankfurt into an area. And the ball over the top is nicely recovered by Konate. Here's Curtis Jones. Now Bradley. Veerts down the right-hand side, trying to get past and Nathaniel Brown there, but losing out in that tussle to Brown. But Frankfurt going right back into their own box again. Ball fed through the middle, Doan. Now Frankfurt want to hit on the counter-attack. They know that's the threat tonight, Liverpool. On the counter from Frankfurt, and here it comes down the right-hand side. Robertson up against his man. Shot comes, and the ball finds the back of the net. And it is similar to the last few weeks for Liverpool. Conceding early, and now have themselves an issue. It's Christensen, the right back, breaks forward on the counter-attack and gives Frankfurt the lead. That was the danger. We knew it was the counter-attacking quality of Frankfurt, and they've made it count. And it all comes back to Florian Wirtz battling Nathaniel Brown down this right-hand side. He loses the ball, and Liverpool just do not recover at all from that sort of position. Again, it's really good counter-attacking, but it's ball watching from Liverpool. No one really closing anyone down. And then when the shot does come, is there an offside? I don't think that's going to count as offside. Really nicely tucked finish by Christensen. And what have we said about Liverpool? over the last few weeks and conceding far too many simple goals. But that was well created on the counter-attack by Frankfurt. But Liverpool didn't cover themselves in glory. Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 0. And that is after what has been a decent last 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Liverpool on the ball without really creating very much. Now a return to maybe that crisis again as the ball into the box. Right at Mamardashvili. Szoboszlai shoving off his man. Down the right comes Wirtz. First time inside ball to Isak. Link up with Szoboszlai, but Isak loses the ball. One back quite quickly by Conor Bradley. More goals to tell you about from around the grounds as well. Chelsea have doubled their lead against 10-man Ajax, so it is 2-0 to Chelsea now, and that one ends with Maresca's side having a bit of fun in West London. Moises Caicedo with the second goal. Jamie Gittins with the assist on this one as Liverpool in the box again, trying to get some sort of chance, but scrambled away by Frankfurt on that occasion. That's the only other goal. That Chelsea goal is the only other one, bar the one here that we've just had. But it is a concern for Liverpool that they are conceding soft goals that are really avoidable at times. And I was kind of questioning, Liverpool had been better on the ball, but it was what Frankfurt were allowing them to have. And I think you don't want to keep being overly negative, but you have to be honest of what you see in front of your eyes, and it is a worry. And Liverpool do have a corner here on the the left-hand side. So Gakpo to take this corner. Referee just sorting out one or two problems in the box. Dominic Szoboszlai, the one being spoken to by the referee. Francois Letessier is our referee this evening, and having a little conversation with Dominic Szoboszlai. Right, corner to Liverpool. Cody Gakpo to deliver. Right footed from the left hand side, lofted in. Headed away by Teats. Wirtz down the right side and gets that one back, and Conor Bradley puts himself in an awkward position there. And it's going to be a Frankfurt throw. Yeah, Conor Bradley was actually put off by the sliding challenge that really didn't make any contact with the ball, and then got a little bit muddled with that, giving Frankfurt the throw there. Andy says Liverpool just seem flat, and they have to sort their defence out when they have to attack. How to beat Liverpool, let them press, get them on the counter. 100%, I think the counter-attack in transition is where Liverpool, even if we go right back to the very first game of the season against Bournemouth, both goals they conceded against Bournemouth were on the counter-attack, were in transition, and it's been a similar theme when they do concede goals, Liverpool. It's either from a set piece or it's in transition. They're two of Liverpool's biggest frailties at the minute, and it's something they need to figure out, and it's something they need to come to terms with and find a way of resolving. Gakpo inside to Wirtz, who drifted out to this left side. Jones, edge of the box is Robertson. Now Szoboszlai. Liverpool trying to squeeze the pitch. Van Dijk, and Wirtz tries the first time ball towards Curtis Jones, but not quite linking it up on that occasion. But Wirtz does well to win it back. Wirtz down the left hand side again. It's it back to Jones, and into the box it falls to Ekitike, calls a handball. Waved away by the referee. Robin Koch, the player, was battling with Ugo Ekitike as Gakpo off the left. Dispossessed down that left channel by Christensen. And they want to spring a counter again, Frankfurt, but that's nicely dealt with by the two Liverpool centre-backs in Van Dijk and Konate. Here's Szoboszlai to Conor Bradley. You've got to say Frankfurt defensively have looked solid so far. Not allowing too much. Gakpo. Say to Robertson, Jones. Liverpool need to move it a little quicker. Szoboszlai finding Bradley. Turning on to the ball, edge of the box, back to Szoboszlai. Feeding it out to the the left-hand side for Gakpo. Whips the ball in. And the header is right at the goalkeeper from Conor Bradley. And Zetera again with a big save. Beautiful run by Bradley. And it's got Liverpool a corner, but a nice delivery by Gakpo. And that one well saved by the Frankfurt goalkeeper. We'll go to Stamford Bridge. There's more drama at Stamford Bridge. We'll go there in a moment. We'll tell you what's just happened. As Liverpool with another corner. Cody Gakpo. Right-footed delivery, lofted high into the air. Headed away by Robin Koch. The keeper was down. And I think the referee is going to pull it back for a foul on the goalkeeper by Zetera. See it again. I don't know where it comes from. As we see this chance for Conor Bradley again. Good delivery. Really good ball by Cody Gakpo. And Bradley just snips in and around Nathaniel Brown. In behind him. Doesn't see him. Timed it perfectly. And the header into the ground and up. And punched away and behind for the goal by the goalkeeper, who did really well. And let's tell you what's happened at Stamford Bridge. Ajax have got a goal back from the penalty spot. Wout Weghorst, the former Manchester United striker, has given Ajax a goal back there. So it is Chelsea 2, Ajax 1. It's Ajax, of course, down to 10, remember, in that one. Right. Here are Frankfurt again. Bahoya down the left-hand side. Pressing in the edge of the box was Szoboszlai. The ball comes to Brown in a little 1-2 with Bradley. Bradley beaten for pace there, but the ball in was stolen by Robertson, and what a ball. Perfect ball by Robertson, and Ugo Ekitike's in one-on-one against his former team. Ekitike fires in for Liverpool. Back on the turf of which he terrorised at a Frankfurt player over the last season or two. He has got Liverpool on terms with his new club. He refuses to celebrate, and Liverpool have their equaliser. It's from Nathaniel Brown's nice little moment with Conor Bradley. Liverpool get it away, and what a ball by Andy Robertson. First time, Ekitike runs in behind, gets the better of his defender. One-on-one with the keeper. Coolly slotted finish. He's done that many a time on this ground, and he's now done it for the very first time against his former team. Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 1, and Ugo Ekitike on the score sheet. Probably the most predictable of Liverpool goal scorers. But that is one that Liverpool desperately needed. No doubt about that. And Arne Slot's team have responded. And a very rare first half goal for Liverpool. But they've got back on terms. And that will ease the anxieties of the Liverpool fans, but also that man on the sideline, Arne Slot. Here's Conor Bradley. A fabulous run by Ekitike. Fabulous pass by Andy Robertson. The presence of mind from Robertson to play that pass first time. Ekitike works it in behind, trying to find Isak. Blocked. Ekitike does really well at trying to work it towards the box again, but just loses out. Konate battling, but has coverage in Conor Bradley. But that's a decent response from Liverpool. You know, usually when we see them concede, their heads have went down. They've kind of struggled to fight back. Oh, That's a good header by Arthur Tayat as Weerts was in the box from that Van Dijk cross. But I think Liverpool's heads have kind of went down when they've conceded, whereas actually after they've conceded that goal here, they've actually looked a little stronger, looked a little more on top of things, and I think the response was coming. I think they created some good chances. Connor Bradley's opportunity minutes earlier as well, so probably a deserved response from Liverpool. And they now have a corner on the right hand side. Might want to try and have ultimate impact here if they can turn this around quickly. So Boschlei lofting it round the back. It's cleared away. Bounces for Bradley, who recycles it. Oh, a little bit telegraphed, but nicely done by Soboschlei to calmly receive the ball under a lot of pressure and gives it back to his goalkeeper in Marmadashvili. Gakpo. Back to Curtis Jones. Thank you very much for joining us, Stephen. Great to have you with us. Robertson trying to link up there with it. Isak, just not on the same page, those two, but the deflection gets it for a Liverpool corner. And he says 3-1 more likely now. Liverpool get one back before first half, that important in a game. As I say, it's a rare goal in the first half for Liverpool. Usually we see them, if they do concede in the first, they're 1-0 down or down at half time, but at least they're level at the moment, which Arne Slot will be happy to see, as I said, that response. But another Liverpool corner here on the left-hand side. Gakpo right-footed. Header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Towering header by the Liverpool captain. And they've turned this one around. A Liverpool side that really couldn't buy a goal against Manchester United for quite a while. Well, they've got two in the first half here against Frankfurt. And it's two very well-deserved goals. They went 1-0 down, but have turned it around and now lead in Germany. Great delivery on that left-hand side by Gakpo. And a fabulous towering header by Virgil van Dijk. Zeterra had no chance. And Frankfurt, despite leading, now trail within 10 minutes of getting their goal. Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 2. I think Liverpool have maybe found their spark again. Beautiful delivery, by the way. Absolutely fantastic and wonderful header. I mean, it's Virgil van Dijk to his core. He scored the winner on match day 1 against Atletico Madrid for the Reds. And he has given Liverpool the lead here in Frankfurt. In a moment, in the last few moments, where Liverpool have probably been the better side. Although Frankfurt again on that counter-attack still remain a threat. Here's Doan working it towards the box. A shot well charged out by Connor Bradley and cleared away. It's Bahoya again that was the threat. That was a great sliding challenge by Connor Bradley. Had to make it. It's a mad game. Third goal for Bayern, by the way. We'll tell you about that in a moment as well. Bayern starting to rack up the goals against Club Brugge. Here's Arthur Tayat for the long throw for Frankfurt. Up and away by Liverpool at the near post by Bradley again. As they try and press out Liverpool. Weerts, the leading man on the press, as it comes all the way back to Zeterra, the Frankfurt keeper. Although their captain, Robin Koch, is down for Frankfurt and in some pain with his left ankle. As the referee comes to check him, he's going to say that he needs some treatment. We'll see this again. Yeah, he kind of gets trodden on there, but Kanati was kind of pushed into him, and then Bradley, as he clears his lines, catches him as well. It's not a foul on any of those occasions. Just unfortunate for Robin Koch. Well, quick look at that Bayern game then. It's now 3-0 to the German champions. Luis Diaz, a former Liverpool player, scoring in the Champions League, and Luis Diaz has his first goal of the night, and Bayern now lead by 3-0 against Club Brugge. So if we tally up the goals from our 8 o'clockers so far, we've had 10 goals. So we need just 7 goals from between now and the final whistle in all of our 8 o'clockers to break a Champions League record. And we're not even at half time yet in these games, a 42nd minute. And there's the German national team head coach, shall I say, Julian Nagelsmann, watching on with a few players on the scene tonight. Florian Wirtz, of course, amongst them in the Liverpool squad, and of course a few in Frankfurt colours as well. But the opening goal coming from Rasmus Christensen. Equaliser, beautiful ball by Robertson, fabulously taken by Ugo Ekitike, the former Frankfurt player, and then Virgil van Dijk's towering header from a corner, giving Liverpool the lead. Great delivery by Gakpo. Dutchman, the Dutchman. And that was really quality from Liverpool. And you got to say, Eintracht Frankfurt deliver a lot of goals as well. That is now the 15th goal. That Virgil van Dijk's goal is the 15th goal in Eintracht Frankfurt games already in the Champions League this season. They had 6 on match day 1, 6 on match day 2, in opposite directions, by the way. 5-1 win followed by a 5-1 loss, and they're now trailing by 2-1 here. So that's 15 goals in almost a half, 2.5 games almost for Eintracht Frankfurt. That's Wirtz. Nicely taken inside there by Ugo Ekitike. Fired it towards Isak. A little bit awkwardly towards Wirtz, and the defending there was far from calm from Frankfurt. Headed behind by Larsson for a Liverpool corner. Evasive action needed as Wirtz was in and around the scene there. Ball by Ekitike, fired towards Isak, who tried to flick it in behind for Wirtz. Wirtz lurking around Larsson's area there. And Zatera couldn't keep the ball in play. It is a corner. There's a penalty to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We'll let you know the outcome of that very shortly after this Liverpool corner. Szoboszlai to deliver. Right-footed delivery. Konate! He's got the third one. Both centre-backs dominating from the corners. And Liverpool lead by 3-1. Ibrahima Konate following in his captain's footsteps moments earlier. And Liverpool have daylight in Frankfurt. Great delivery this time again by Szoboszlai, but I think Konate just gets a free header. See this again. Just beats away from his man, towers towards the area, edge of the 6-yard box. A rocket header. Beautiful from Konate. And Liverpool now lead by 3-1. And that is a little bit more calm for Arne Slot's side. And if you remember, Liverpool had a tricky spell early last season. If you remember, their first defeat of last season was followed up by a Champions League game. Their first Champions League game under Arne Slot, away at AC Milan. They conceded early, and both Liverpool centre-backs scored on the night, Konate and Van Dijk, in helping Liverpool to turn the game around. And that is something similar that has happened in the first half here tonight. Both Liverpool centre-backs scoring in the first half, along with Ugo Ekitike, to help Liverpool turn a 1-goal deficit into a 3-1 lead. And that is some turnaround. 4 minutes of additional time at the end of the first half. They might not be done yet as Isak trying to be the target in behind there. Just dealt with, although one back by Connor Bradley. Liverpool a little bit purring at the moment. Bradley battling, but I think just a little too over physical there, the Northern Irishman. On Arthur Tayats, and a free kick to Frankfurt. Speaking of goals, a third goal for an English team. It is another goal for Chelsea. They've added to their lead against Ajax once again, so that 2-goal cushion is restored. It was a penalty. Enzo Fernandez stepped up and scored it, and Chelsea lead by 3-1. Remember, there against 10-man Ajax at this moment in time. It's a total of 12 goals, 5 more needed. We still a whole half of football to go. Here's Hugo Ekitike up to Florian Wirtz. The touch didn't settle for Wirtz on that occasion. Liverpool just recovering it well here down the right side with Szoboszlai. And 2 minutes of the 4 added to go in this first half. Reminder, we'll recap all of last night's results for you. We'll talk about tonight's games as well in the Champions League, and also talk about this first half between Eintracht Frankfurt and Liverpool. It's a ball into the box. Wirtz with a flick-on header towards Isak, who couldn't bring it under his spell in that box, but nicely recovered there by Szoboszlai, battling our Liverpool and their midfield, although they lose out on that occasion. Wanted a foul, not going to get one, as Frankfurt try and spring a counter. Down the right side comes Christensen. Not much room as Liverpool are back in numbers. That was nicely worked from Amenda. Down the right hand side to Doan. Now into Götze. Christensen. Deep cross and caught by Georgi Mamadashvili, who unleashes it quickly to Florian Wirtz down the right hand side, who wants to get on the move quickly. Chops inside. Wirtz finding Szoboszlai. Back out wide here to Ekitike. To Wirtz. Szoboszlai. Just trying to settle. Keep the possession, keep the control that they've started to wrestle back, Liverpool, and really had wrestled back after the goal from Frankfurt. Nice little 1-2s there between Wirtz and Ekitike. Konate to Curtis Jones. Back to Van Dijk. Szoboszlai. Gakpo. Back to Robertson. And down the left-hand side it came, but the 4 minutes are up, and that is the end of the first half. A first half that probably 15 minutes ago looked very different to what it is now. As we enter the half, it looked like it was going to be more of the same for Liverpool when Frankfurt scored their opener through Rasmus Christensen. But a response like no other we've seen from Liverpool in the last few weeks. 3 goals in the space of the last 10 minutes of that first half has really turned this one on its head. Ekitike with the leveller, Van Dijk to give Liverpool the lead, and his centre-back partner Ibrahima Konate adding a little bit of spice to Liverpool's lead at the break. Half-time in Frankfurt, it's Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 3. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through. Wants to add a fourth. And does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Race again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half time, it is Liverpool who lead Frankfurt by 3 goals to 1 at the break. In Frankfurt, elsewhere, Chelsea are now 4-1 up against 10-man Ajax Estevao, scoring that 4th goal just before half time. And Chelsea lead by 3 goals, 4-1 leaders there. 3 goalless games, from our 8 o'clockers. Real Madrid Juventus is goalless. Spurs, the only English side who aren't winning tonight and aren't in a winning position. Of course, all 3 English sides last night won by a canter, but Spurs drawing 0-0 away at Monaco, and Atalanta Slavia Prague is the other goalless game. Right. A reminder for you, second half's on the way in just a moment, by the way. But match day 4 of the Champions League phase is at the start of next month. So in about 2 weeks' time, we'll be back for match day 4, the 4th and 5th of November. But as we sit at half-time, it is probably a rarity in the last few weeks that Liverpool are probably going into half-time the better side and the side that lead at the break. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes from Liverpool's Ekitike, Van Dijk and Konate all on the score sheet to turn around what was a 1-goal deficit against Eintracht Frankfurt. Rasmus Christensen with that goal, but it is looking up for Arne Slot's team, and big second half needed if they can end this losing streak that they've been on. 4 games in a row that Liverpool have lost, and tonight probably looks like their best chance at ending that with the way they sit at half-time. But Liverpool fans will know that they are not done and dusted just yet with the way things have gone recently. Nothing can be too safe. It looks like Liverpool are going to make a half-time change as well. A player that probably Liverpool fans believe should be getting more minutes. Well, he's going to be getting at least one half of football here. Federico Chiesa is going to be coming on at the break. And an interesting to see how Liverpool swap about in the second half, who Chiesa is coming on for, and why that would be. Would it be an injury, or would it be just a straight tactical swap for Arne Slot? We will see as we'll get the board up, and it is going to be, I'm trying to actually say, I didn't quite see the number there. It is number 9, Alexander Isak. So Isak off and Chiesa on, so maybe a more traditional look from Liverpool in the second half. Of course, we suspect then, with Isak coming off, I think Ekitike then will go to centre forward, Chiesa will go down the right hand side, and Gakpo will play off the left. But no Alex Isak for the second half for Liverpool. Mo Salah still sitting on the bench, which is another interesting factor to that as well. He's not the one that's selected. As we get the second half underway then, here in Frankfurt. A first half that looked like it was going well in the way of Frankfurt and their game plan of sitting deep, stopping Liverpool from breaking them down and then hitting them on the break with that opening goal. But the response from Liverpool was quite reticent towards the end of that first half, and a firm response. 3 goals in a matter of minutes from Liverpool. We'll see how they do in the second half with that lead, and maybe a little bit more of the game in their favour, obviously, with that 2-goal advantage now. Well, Frankfurt are without a win in 4 games against Premier League clubs in the Champions League. They lost 2-1. In UEFA competitions, drawn 2, lost 2. They lost 2-1 on aggregate to Spurs in last season's Europa League quarter-finals. 1-1 away and 1-0 defeat at home. That was their second home defeat by English visitors. 1-3 and drawn 4, home and away. Frankfurt have 5 wins in 17 games against English teams in the UEFA competitions, drawn 6 and lost 6. Liverpool with the possession to start this second half. Here's Robertson down the left-hand side to Gakpo. Works it back inside, finding Ekitike, who lays it off to Robertson. Jones. Gakpo. Robertson on the overlap. Goes for the early cross. Palmed away by Zetterer. And they try and clear their lines at Frankfurt, but only recovered by Konate. Good ball by Robertson, and Zetterer was worried, and he parried it away from danger. Robertson. Back it comes to Curtis Jones. On ball over the top by Konate. Nicely taken in by Ekitike, who laid it off to Weerts. Weerts at the byline, tries to work it across the 6-yard box. Chiesa was on the scene, but cleared away by Frankfurt. Once again, Liverpool starting to probe Frankfurt once more. Well, Liverpool are unbeaten in 14 matches against German teams. Won 11 and drawn 3 since a 2-4 defeat at Bayer Leverkusen in the 2001-2 Champions League quarter-final second leg. They've won their last 5 and 8 of their last 9, and most recently, of course, beat Leverkusen 4-0 at Anfield last season, and that was their 4th successive clean sheet against German opponents. Of course, that's not going to continue tonight, having already conceded. Here's Conor Bradley, nice first touch, and Nathaniel Bryan, the battler. But Bradley wins the ball back down the right side, a bit short towards Szoboszlai, but the bounce goes the way of the Hungarian. Nice little 1-2 there by Weerts, and I think that was that Gakpo? It's in the meantime gone behind for a corner off Arthur Theat. Good start to the second half from Liverpool. Starting to really try and impose themselves on at Frankfurt again. Almost all of the possession in the early moments. 93% of the possession so far in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. And another corner will come. Szoboszlai to take 2 goals from corners in the first half from Liverpool. Van Dijk and Konate towering above everyone else. And Szoboszlai to deliver for the first time. Right-footed delivery. Up in the air. Ekitike was in the mix there. Weerts heads it back in though. On the volley! Goodness me. Off target from Chiesa. Whether he was on or offside is another question, but what an opportunity by Chiesa. See it here. Weerts heads it back into the mix, and on the half volley. Beautiful on the spin from Chiesa. Good contact. Just couldn't get it on target. Just scoops it away from goal, unfortunately for him, but that was an audacious effort. The pressure on Frankfurt now, and they play that one straight out of play through Robin Koch there. Right, for a Liverpool throw, a little bit of an unforced error from the home side. Information to tell you about in the Sporting game. Marseille do lead by a 1-0, but just before half-time, they were brought down to 10 men. Emerson, the former West Ham player, Emerson Palmieri, Chelsea player as well, he was given a yellow card for a handball in the 39th minute, and in the 47th minute of the first half, he was given a second yellow for simulation. Initially, a penalty was given, but was overturned by VAR, and a yellow card, second yellow, was given for simulation. So they are down to 10, Marseille, but do still lead by a 0. It is now at 5-1 to Chelsea. They are taking more than firm grip of that game at Stamford Bridge. They ended the half with a goal, and they have seemingly started the half in the exact same way. As here comes Ugo Ekitike in behind, lost his balance there as he charged in behind. A bit too quick for even himself there was Ugo Ekitike. Tyreek George, by the way, scored that 5th goal for Chelsea. I think Chelsea on their own might break the Champions League record. There's another unforced error from Frankfurt, another Liverpool corner. They're seemingly struggling with this Liverpool pressure at the moment. So we see it here. Ekitike gets fed in behind by Curtis Jones, and he just goes, he actually overruns himself. Goes too quick for himself, and he just stumbles over like a newborn foal. Corner to Liverpool, left-hand side. Gakpo to deliver. Once again, this will be corner number 9 for Liverpool. Right-footed delivery by Gakpo, deep to the back post, headed away. No one in red there at the back post on that one. Liverpool do recycle it. Curtis Jones, heavy touch, but he does enough to keep it in play and evade the man who was chasing him down. Gives it back to Conor Bradley. He will give it back to his goalkeeper in Mamardashvili. And he says, like I said, this could be a historical game to witness. We could be witnessing the end of King Salah, and we'll get demoted to Super Sub Salah. Well, yeah, it is I was saying at half time, it was kind of a bit of a damnation of Mo Salah a little bit in that first half, and obviously it doesn't mean that because Mo Salah's out of the team, Liverpool have started performing. It might be just a coincidence, but also at the same time, it's not a good look for him, the fact that he has played the last number of games, not really performed, and Liverpool haven't performed and got results. Whereas at half-time in this game, albeit they were 1-0 down at one point, their balance has looked better. They've looked more comfortable in and out of possession at times, Liverpool, even when Frankfurt have applied pressure, bar the one counter-attack, which Liverpool still need to work on, there's no doubt about that. But the pressing looks better, they look more comfortable in and out of possession, winning the ball back, winning free kicks, winning corners. Everything just looks a little bit more fluid, a little bit more kind of joined up. And I'm not saying that it is the end of Salah and Salah's the problem, not at all. I'm just saying that it could be something at the way Liverpool play, that it is so Salah focused to that right side, that it could be taking away from the balance of trying to find the other players in the team, and it could be unbalancing Liverpool in those moments. That's all the point that I'm making. But again, it could be just a coincidence. One of those nights where every Liverpool player plays to their level and Liverpool perform whether Salah's on or off the pitch at all. But a long ball over the top here towards Cody Gakpo, who's made the run behind. The flag stayed down as he was brought down, but he's somehow come away with the ball. But he's going to get the foul, Cody Gakpo, and it's going to be a yellow card handed out to Aurele Amenda, the centre-back of Frankfurt. Yeah, he's absolutely gripping his left arm there and drags him to the ground. It's definitely a yellow. And Frankfurt giving away another free kick right around about the edge of the box. They also had a player yellow card a few moments ago. Ritsu Doan, was also yellow carded for a foul as well. So just missed that one a little earlier. So the free kick, around about 22, 21 yards out, to the left-hand side of the goal. And what will Liverpool do from this sort of position? Will they go direct? We will see. It is an angle that is very difficult to find the benefit of, but Florian Wirtz knows what it is to score a free kick. He's the one over it for Liverpool, along with Andy Robertson. Look like there's many crossing options in there. I think they might be going direct here. Florian Wirtz in a moment. All seems to be going that way. Referee blows the whistle. Here it comes. Florian Wirtz gets it up and forces a good save out of Zerera. Gets it up and over the wall and forces a good save by the Frankfurt goalkeeper. Good right-footed effort. Lofted over the wall. Dipping just under the crossbar. Perfect technique. Well saved by the goalkeeper. Parried out for the corner. Yeah. Couldn't have done much more there from that difficult position, Florian Wirtz. Well, he has done as best as he could have on that moment. As Gakpo comes over to take this corner. Goal in Madrid. We'll go there in a moment. Gakpo to take the corner. Right-footed. It's low. Near post. Headed away by Frankfurt. Bouncing ball received by Curtis Jones, who fires one back to Conor Bradley, who will guide it back to his goalkeeper in Georgi Mamardashvili. As I was saying, there is a goal in Madrid. That game was goalless between Real Madrid and Juventus, but it's goalless no more. And it is Real Madrid that have taken the lead in the Bernabeu this evening. Jude Bellingham, who's been criticised by his international manager in Thomas Tuchel over the last few weeks. Well, he is performing on the field for Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid. And they have taken the lead on the night against Italian opposition in Juventus. Two sides that met in a number of Champions League finals over the years. I think most recently 2017 in Cardiff. But Real Madrid take the lead there. Jude Bellingham on 57 has given Madrid the lead. I think we've officially broken the record, I think. We needed 17 goals. We did 6, then 4, then 3, then 1, then 1. So what's that? 6, 4, 5. So no, we haven't officially broken the record. My counting is right, isn't it? 6 and 4 is 10 and 3 is 13, 14, 15. So we need 2 more goals to break the Champions League record. Here's a ball in behind for Frankfurt. Doan battled with by Szoboszlai. And it will be a Frankfurt corner. Szoboszlai deemed to have had the final touch. She claimed it was off Doan, but will be a Frankfurt corner. Only their second corner of the game and their first of the second half, so haven't had many corner opportunities. Actually had the first corner of the game in the very first minute, Frankfurt. Doan, left-footed delivery, up and away in the box as the follow-up shot from wrong range from Artur Tayat is well over the bar. Andy says, that's what I think. Liverpool find themselves more restrictive with Salah on the pitch, and you would try to find Salah to pass to who wouldn't. But now they're just passing to a shirt. I think that's fair. I think sometimes when you have such a star player in Salah and had such an unbelievable season last season, who wouldn't want to pass to Mo Salah? Because you know he can create magic. But I think sometimes it was at the detriment to Liverpool. And I think last season, I think what it is last season Liverpool had the balance perfect. And they knew when they passed to Salah he would create something. But also they knew when to pass to Salah and when not to. Whereas I think this new team, still trying to find that balance, new players in and around Salah, they actually aren't knowing when to pass and when not to pass to him. And he's also not producing, which doesn't help. So I think it's all a combination of things. I don't think it's the downfall of Salah. I just think he's not in the best form, and it's new players trying to work it out with him. And they just haven't figured it out yet, that balance down that right-hand side. And that's where I think the crux of the issue comes. But in no way would I be criticising Mo Salah, because do it at your peril is what I would say. Because Mo Salah, when he's angry, he is undoubtedly one of the best players when he plays angry. He makes you know that he is much better than what you make him out to be at times. And he's absolutely fantastic, Mo Salah, no doubt about that. Frankfurt have made a double change, by the way, in the last moment or so. Jean-Mateo Bahoya, their centre-forward, has come off. Jonathan Burkhardt is on in his place. They also made another change as they brought on Namadi Collins. Or Namdi Collins, sorry. He's come on. I'm not too sure he's come off for Rasmus Christensen, who scored the opener, has come off for him. So a double substitution for Frankfurt there. Of course, Liverpool made the half-time sub for bringing Federico Chiesa on for Alexander Isak. Liverpool still have 3 windows to make 4 substitutions. Or actually, sorry, 3 windows to make 2 windows to make 3 substitutions, because of course Jeremy Frimpong was taken off in the first half for Connor Bradley through injury. So they've used 2 of their subs, Liverpool, and 2 just 1 window, because half-time doesn't count. I think that was clear as mud, but it is complicated sometimes when you're trying to work it out in your head and you go, yeah, but half-time doesn't count as a window, and during the game does, but it still counts as a sub. It's trying to balance things out and figure it out in your head. Here's Wirtz down the right-hand side as we hit the hour mark in Frankfurt. Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 3. Szoboszlai. Threaded ball towards Gakpo in behind. Well cut out by Amenda. But Konate's able to win it back, and Szoboszlai there to take it down. Szoboszlai rolls it in behind Wirtz into the box. The ball, he tried to cut back on it, but was well closed out as Konate pressed well to win it back. Szoboszlai. Bradley back to Dominik Szoboszlai. Rolls it through, finding Flochi and Wirtz. Gets to the byline, cuts it back. Szoboszlai didn't catch it right, really. Just didn't catch it clean, and just bobbles wide of the goal, but a clean finish on that. It could have been much better for Dominik Szoboszlai. Again, good work from Wirtz down that right-hand side. Holds his run well. Worked in behind as he beats off his man, gets to the byline, cuts it back, and a better finish could have gifted into Liverpool a 4th goal there. Szoboszlai there. Ultimately not on that occasion. Andy says definitely not Salah is at fault, or Salah is definitely not at fault at all. It's all about balance, and I'd rather have Salah and not need him than have no Salah at all. If you have Salah and don't need him, something is going right. Yeah, 100%. I think it's a good it's a good option to have off the bench. Certainly, if you need a Mo Salah, he can produce, but I think it is nice to see that Liverpool, you know, people say, oh, when Salah goes, Liverpool will be useless, Liverpool will be crap. And I know it's only one game, but it's actually nice to see that without Mo Salah, Liverpool still can play, and it's not to the same extent of when Salah goes or when Salah's not playing, Liverpool are a completely different team. Because you do see that sometimes when a team doesn't have one of their best attackers. Any team would look a little bit jaded. But I think Liverpool have other quality in other areas of the pitch that can still produce as well, and it's nice to see that tonight. But of course, remember, it's still only one performance, and we knew the Liverpool couldn't continue to be as bad as what they have been. That's a lovely ball in behind by Gakpo. Here's Ekitike. Shot blocked and cleared away, and half cleared by the Frankfurt defence there, Amenda. As Robertson battles down the left, wins a throw in. Rolls it in behind, takes a quick throw, finding Gakpo, chips it back across, and it evades both Conor Bradley and Florian Wirtz, but Wirtz does well to win it back. Szoboszlai down the right side for Wirtz. Wirtz trying to work it into the box. Falls for Bradley's shot, bashes off the post. And that's now another game where Liverpool have hit the woodwork. But Conor Bradley there, the unlucky Liverpool player who had a shot deflected onto the post rather than directly to the post. But Liverpool pushing for that 4th goal. No updates elsewhere around the ground. Still 2 games that are goalless. That Spurs game against Monaco is still goalless. Of course, Man City didn't have an easy run of it either when they played Monaco, but they ended up winning that game. So far, Spurs, no breakthrough for Thomas Frank's side. Have actually been under a bit of pressure tonight from that one. 13 shots. Monaco have had 7 on target. Spurs just 1 shot on target tonight. It is goalless there between Monaco and Tottenham, and also goalless between Atalanta and Slavia Prague as well. More changes for Frankfurt. It's going to see Doan and Götze off. So Ritsu, Doan and Mario Götze off, and Chaibi and Chanozun are on for those two. So Chanozun and Fares Chaibi is on as well. So 4 subs used by Frankfurt. And they've just 1 left, and Liverpool have 3 left. And of course, Frankfurt got their star men on the field, Burkhardt and Özün, 2 of their best attackers. Certainly 2 of their best producers in front of goal so far this season. It was an interesting idea when he didn't start either of them, the manager, tonight. It could have been a good idea if they'd have been level at this point, bringing on some great attacking talent to turn the game in their favour, but they need a goal. They need the next goal, certainly, Frankfurt. There's no doubt about that. Szoboszlai does really well at closing down the attempt of a counter-attack. And now he feeds it in behind for Florian Wirtz. He's got the ball across. Gakpo taps it in. It's 4-1. And that is surely now game, set, and match Liverpool. Great from Szoboszlai. Stops a counter-attack at one end and creates a great moment for Liverpool at the other. Beautiful through ball to Wirtz, who squared it across, and a man like Cody Gakpo, in the form that he's in for club and country, is going to do one thing, and that is slot it home. Liverpool lead by 4-1. Yeah, it's beautiful. Really beautifully taken. Beautiful from Szoboszlai, perfectly weighted in behind for Wirtz. Wirtz spots his man, just lays it on a plate for Gakpo, and the keeper, Zeter, has no chance from there on in. And it's a 4th for Liverpool. We said Frankfurt needed the next goal. Well, it's Liverpool that have got it, and it is now 4-1. Cody Gakpo is in roaring form. And Cody Gakpo is having a very good moment. He has now scored in each of his last 5 appearances for club and country. Scored for Liverpool away at Chelsea in that defeat. Scored 2 goals against Malta for the Netherlands. Scored a goal against Finland. Scored against Man United. And has a goal and an assist here tonight. Cody Gakpo is in rapturous form at the moment. Liverpool lead by 4-1. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Just earlier this afternoon we had 30,000 subscribers. If you want to help us keep growing on the channel, do hit that subscribe button. Do hit the like button as well. It does help us to grow the channel and the stream as well. So thank you all for joining us this evening for this one. Now Frankfurt have no chance, or no kind of option but to fight back and go all out attack. They've got nothing to lose now. 3 goals down. But now here come Liverpool again as Frankfurt throw bodies forward. This could be even more dangerous. Chiesa waits it in behind. Szoboszlai tries to get it across. Too unselfish there, Szoboszlai. Could have had the shot himself, but wanted to try and find one for his teammate. And in the end, didn't make it work, as Ekitike was well blocked off and Frankfurt defended it well. I've got to say, they threw more bodies forward there, Frankfurt, and they looked really open. Really open. And they could have conceded a 5th there. There's a ball into the box. Just too high for anybody in Frankfurt colours in there. Nathaniel Brown, the one trying to put the ball into the box, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. Well, one thing about Liverpool tonight, we've talked about in front of goal, when they are creating shots, they're not good shots. They're not moments where you think, oh, they could score from that. Where they probably had 1 shot on target out of 9 shots, if you know what I mean. That kind of idea where they're not been anywhere near accurate in front of goal. Tonight, Liverpool have had 10 shots on target from 13 shots. That is much more like Liverpool. And considering, as well at the same time, they've hit the woodwork as well. So it's actually probably more or less just 2 shots off target tonight, which is really quite impressive with their quality in front of goal. Here's Chiesa. Poor clearance by Frankfurt. And Chiesa helped out to win it back. Wirtz now. Szoboszlai tucks it in. That's a gorgeous goal. Beautiful precision from Dominik Szoboszlai. And Liverpool are absolutely running riot in Frankfurt now. It's 5. And for the second time in as many games for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League, 5 in their last 2 they've conceded each. That is not a good look for Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 5. Again, it's really well won back by Chiesa. Worked by Wirtz, and I think Wirtz will get the assist on this one too. Lays it off, and Szoboszlai, low, hard, bottom left corner. Absolutely gorgeous goal. 5-1. If it wasn't game over before, it's game over now. And that is Szoboszlai, who was a little too unselfish a little earlier. He's not too unselfish that time. Perfectly selfish. And he gets his goal on the night for Liverpool. And I think that is the record. 6, 6, and 3 is 15, 16, 17. That is the Champions League record. We have had the most goals in a Champions League night, a Champions League match day ever. That was goal number 68. Goal number 68 of the Champions League match day, which is a new Champions League record. And that is much more impressive from Liverpool. Much more impressive I mean, it's crazy the fact that we were sitting on the 35th, the 28th minute going, same old Liverpool in the recent weeks. They've conceded a goal from when they've probably had better possession, have actually looked okay, and they've conceded a sloppy goal. But look at the way they've responded to conceding that goal. 5 on the bounce. And a game where they probably would have wanted to score more in the Man United game and balance it out a little better. They're happy that they're able to find the back of the net tonight on more than a number of occasions. And that is exactly what I said about Liverpool in midweek or at the weekend. The fact that they had so many chances against Manchester United. They just didn't take them. And tonight, they did, and they have. And that is what has them so far in front. Chiesa, lovely ball in behind for Gakpo. Tries to take it round his man, and Robin Koch, who's trying to deny him. And he just about gets it back to his goalkeeper. Sees it off just in the nick of time. The last thing Frankfurt need to do is concede more. And this is the last thing they want to see. The double substitution that Liverpool are going to make is Mo Salah and Alexis McAllister. Salah, one of the world's best strikers and forwards, and Alexis McAllister, one of the world's best midfielders on his day. I mean, that is a terrorising substitution to see coming off the bench if you are Frankfurt. Right, we believe there's been an equalising goal in Sporting in Lisbon between Sporting and Marseille. Remember I said Marseille were 1 up, they went down to 10. Well, we think Sporting have equalised. There was a VAR check and it has been confirmed as a goal, I'm just hearing. So Jenny Catamo has given Sporting an equalising goal against 10-man Marseille in Lisbon, 1-1. Right, the double substitution for Liverpool is going to see Gakpo and Ekitike off, and McAllister and Salah on. And it's great to see that Ugo Ekitike on his return to his former club, getting the equalising goal for Liverpool. And Cody Gakpo adding a 4th to the Liverpool tally tonight. Also got the delivery, the assist for the Virgil van Dijk goal as well as he delivered the corner. So it's a very frivolous night for those two, and Ekitike and Gakpo. Looks like they're actually going to make a triple change here. Well, they're going to make another change. Going to see Ibrahima Konate coming off as well. So that will be their all of their substitutions. And Joe Gomez is going to be coming on for Liverpool. So Gomez on for Konate. And that rounds off the Liverpool subs then. And this is what having such a lead benefits you. You can rest players. You can bring some of your best players off and some of the best performing players on the night off and give them a rest before Liverpool have a trip to Brentford on Saturday night. And a League Cup action against Crystal Palace next midweek before a game against Aston Villa. So a busy next week and a half for Arne Slot's team before they return to the Champions League in 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, Liverpool hosting a simple task of hosting Real Madrid. That's some tasty affair. That's a lovely take by Salah in his first involvement. Tried to put the cross in, blocked by a Frankfurt defender and cleared away, but possibly blocked by an arm, although by the side of the defender. Another goal in the game at the Allianz Arena. Bayern have been quiet as of late. They had 3 goals in the first half. They have their first goal of the second half. It is now 4-0 to Bayern Munich there at the Allianz Arena in Munich. And it is Nicholas Jackson who's got the goal. And it is 4-0 to Bayern. We've by far beaten the record now. We're pushing 70. I think we've got 70 goals now in one match day. I'm obsessed with this because I love records. Absolutely love a record. 13.5 minutes to go, and there's no doubting where the points are going here tonight. Liverpool getting all 3 points it will be. They're 5-1 leaders against Frankfurt. Despite conceding the first, they've responded quite resolutely, scoring 5 unanswered goals, 3 of which in the first half, in a 7-8 minute spell in the first half. Here it's one back here for Liverpool to Salah. Has a shot straight at the goalkeeper, although the flag was up anyway, against Mohamed Salah. Well, it could be a very interesting stat. If it stays as it is here, the scoreline, it would be the most bizarre kind of first opening 3 matches for Frankfurt in the Champions League. 5-1 would be yet a great score, but also a haunting score. They would be a team that, I don't think anybody's done this before, I would go out on a limb, that they've had the same scoreline in all 3 games if it stays as it is. Of course, a 5-1 win in match day 1 and a 5-1 defeat on match day 2. But they're losing 5-1 at the minute. And I can go out on a limb. I don't think it's ever happened before that the same team has had a 5-1 scoreline in the first 3 weeks. Certainly not in the league phase, it's not happened. But yeah, that would be a very niche stat, that would be. Liverpool have a great record in the group stages over the league phase. They've won 13 of the last 15 Champions League group stage or league phase matches. They lost the other 2. They have been both beaten in their last 2 away games in the Champions League phase. Of course, PSV Eindhoven on match day 8 of last season, and of course Galatasaray away on match day 2 of this season. But it looks like that's going to end as well. Looks like Liverpool are just calmly going to try and reset this to carry it out for the victory. And what they will be hoping will be the ending of this torrid run and starting and hoping of a new dawn for Liverpool. As Chiesa there battling in the edge of the box to win the ball. It's stolen away by Amenda. Pressure though by Szoboszlai, forcing Frankfurt even further back as they do clear it away. And Van Dijk there tried to play it forward, but very unlike Virgil van Dijk, just played it straight out of play. And Liverpool have a great record against German teams anyway. They've lost just 6 times in European competition to German clubs, 13 draws and 25 wins against German opposition. The last time a German team beat Liverpool in European competition was all the way back, I think I mentioned it earlier, when Leverkusen beat them 4-2 in the Champions League in 2002. That was the last time they were beaten by a German team in UEFA competition, Liverpool, home or away, which is quite a stellar record considering they've played Dortmund and Bayern on that run, and Leverkusen a few times, Hoffenheim, Leipzig, Augsburg as well on that run since they've last lost to a German team. Of course, Frankfurt for the very first time since the 70s, they're playing them tonight. Here's Salah, drifting off the right hand side, works it inside to Szoboszlai, trying to fire it back to Salah, but a bit forced unnecessarily by Szoboszlai. And they trying to find the counter-attacker, Frankfurt, as Bradley will try and close it down, and Liverpool rush bodies back quite comfortably to drop off. But 15 shots, 12 on target, 10 corners. That is the sign of dominance from Liverpool. Pressing there by Chiesa, didn't quite come away with the ball. It's in 67% possession, an XG of 2.77, of which 1.7 of that was in the first half, 0.7 in the second. But XG overall for Frankfurt, 0.19, which is an uptick in the way that Liverpool have defended on that front. The fact that that's a more promising number for Liverpool defensively than it is for Frankfurt, who've had just 3 shots tonight, and just the 1 shot on target. So since their goal, they haven't had a shot on target. Eintracht Frankfurt, which is another positive for Liverpool tonight. And Virgil van Dijk does well defending there one-on-one, puts it out for the goal kick. Liverpool could get 8 in this. I don't think Liverpool want to get 8 in this. I think they just want to come away with a victory, take it home and go, you know what, great result, let's build upon it. They'll not get too high, they'll not get too overexcited about this. They'll be happy that their losing streak is going to end, but they'll also be wanting to see more, wanting to improve, and wanting to also kind of add to this on Saturday and then next week and the week after, and just keep building. And that's the mentality of a team that Liverpool are, and the team that Liverpool want to be this season and for the few seasons under Arne Slot in the next number of years, is that they want to be a team that has that elite mentality. And we saw it last season in going to win the league, and we haven't really seen it so far this season, probably in the early games when they've had those late comebacks. As there's a chance from Frankfurt off target from Chaidi. And a shot really well taken, good ball down the left hand side. So Bushlight just dove in for the challenge. Joe Gomez one-on-one, just gives him too much space, and Chaidi has the shot on his right foot, just hits the target, misses the target completely. Yeah, just completely misses the target. And that's a rare shot for Frankfurt in the game. Funnily enough, their goalkeeper tonight has had to make 7 saves. 7 saves. And that was a terror. 6 minutes of normal time to go. Of course, a reminder, we'll run you through all of last night's results and all of tonight's games and results, and then we will bring you right up to date with how the table looks come the final whistle. Actually, I'll prepare that for you now, because we've had issues with the Champions League table in the last few weeks of the season, because there's been an issue with it, and the fact that it's just not loaded properly. But we will try and resolve that for you tonight. I think it is resolved. There we are. So we'll be able to show you that at full time. The league table to show you how the Champions League is ironing out after 3 match days, and a good healthy balance of games to see who's where and who's kind of at what level. Of course, a number of teams. I think that will be 5 teams as it stands, with Real Madrid winning. It will be 5 teams that have won 3 games out of 3, along with Bayern as well. If those 2 keep winning, then that will be 5 teams that will top the table all on maximum points. But we will tell you all about that at the final whistle. There's still 2 games that are goalless tonight as well. We've had a total of, 19 goals from our games at 7 o'clock or at 8 o'clock kickoffs this evening, and we've had 2 goalless games as it stands. Still goalless between Monaco and Spurs, and Atalanta and Slavia Prague. Quick update in that Spurs game. Told you how Monaco had so much of the better chances. They're still continuing to have the better of the chances. 22 shots they've had against Spurs tonight, 8 on target. Spurs just 2 shots on target on the evening for Thomas Frank's team. So certainly a tough night, but if they come away with a point, I'm sure Spurs will not be too disappointed with that. Considering how well Monaco have played against them tonight, but still unable to score, still goalless there. Here is Soboslai to Robertson, pings one in behind, too much on that one for Salah to get anywhere near. Salah made the nice run, but Robertson just couldn't find his teammate. Nice idea, just not the right execution. Long clearance there by Mamardashvili, and it's an awkward bounce for Amada. And here's Caoimhan behind. He's worked it across. The bobble takes it away from Salah, who was free in the box, but he does retrieve it, does the Egyptian. Jones. Completely forgot Curtis Jones was on the field. Not really seen much of him in the last few minutes. Here's Joe Gomez. Virgil van Dijk. We have a goal in the game in Lisbon between Sporting and Marseille. We told you about Marseille leading with 10 men. Sporting got the leveller. A nice Sporting lead. They've turned it around against 10-man Marseille. And Sporting with a bit of positivity for them this evening. They lead, and it is Alisson Santos that has got their goal that has them now leading in Portugal. Look at that atmosphere, look at that team. Look at those fans. The scarves and flags waving galore. It's a beautiful sight and a beautiful stadium. Unbelievable to see those types of atmospheres in Europe. I mean, considering your team are 5-1 down, it's some atmosphere to have at 5-1 down. I think some of the English clubs, they'd be out the door, way home for a lie down and a quick kebab before bed. I think that would be the idea from an English fan's point of view, if they were 5-1 down against anybody. But I think you see in Europe, it's much more, the atmosphere is much more united, especially in Germany. I think we see that a lot in with German clubs. We do see that kind of unity. You know, we talk about Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Leipzig, Leverkusen, these great atmospheres amongst many others that I haven't mentioned there. And Frankfurt are certainly one of those great atmospheres. A tough place to go, but Liverpool have made it look somewhat easy tonight at times. Here's Szoboszlai, lays it off for Salah, takes the touch on his left, back to Szoboszlai. Just evaded Salah again, and Bradley has to leave it because he was offside. And that's a clearance by Artetea. That's definitely headed by Van Dijk, although second ball brought down by Joe Gomez. Now out to the right hand side. Salah, desperate to try and get himself on the score sheet. Works it towards Chiesa, where it turns it back to Salah, who had the pass across the goal but wanted to go himself. And the goalkeeper made the save. Wirtz was free in the middle. He had to pass it, Mohamed Salah. Had to pass, surely. And Florian Wirtz had an empty net. Oh, an awkward back pass here for Frankfurt. Here is Florian Wirtz. Edge of the box, lays it off. McAllister, nice Salah. Salah chips it back in. Curtis Jones chests it. And the shot is cleared away by Zitera for a corner. And the flag was up anyway, actually, so it's going to be a free kick to Frankfurt, but they're all trying to get in on the action. Yeah, and they were all offside there, actually. Curtis Jones just drifting offside. They're all trying to get on the score sheet now. 2 additional minutes. And those travelling Liverpool fans will be much happier when they head back to Merseyside. A rare win recently for Liverpool. After that 4-game losing streak, it's going to be a win by a canter tonight against Eintracht Frankfurt. 5 unresponded goals. And there's still more. They're trying to push for that 6th. That's a beautiful pass. Laid into Salah. Salah in behind here onto his left foot. Lays it off. Has the go. And skies it over the bar. Couldn't keep the shot down, Mo Salah. Another glimpse of goal. That's a number of chances he's had in the last few minutes, Mo Salah. I said he's desperate to get himself on the score sheet. I don't think it's going to be the night for him to get on the score sheet. It seems just a minute or so to go. Reminder, we'll recap all of tonight's scores, all of the full-time results and all of last night's results, and tell you how the table looks following all 18 games in this record-breaking Champions League match day, which we have seen the most goals in a Champions League match week in the competition's history. Nice interception there by Liverpool. A bobble that awkwardly falls for Frankfurt. Can't really make the most of it there with Burkhardt, and it's cleared away by Liverpool all the way back to Robin Koch. Last few seconds of the game. A reminder for you, Premier League action on Friday night for you from Elland Road. Leeds taking on West Ham, two sides towards the bottom end of the table, and they face off on Friday night, 8 o'clock. Frankfurt maybe having one last attack. Cut back here into the box. Good challenge. And another Liverpool clearance. And they want to head on the break here. So Boschlei's on the move. He's got Wirtz to his through the middle. To the left-hand side he goes to Federico Chiesa, who shot us straight down the throat of the keeper. And that will surely be it. It is! The final whistle goes. And for the first time in what seems like forever for Liverpool fans, they're back to winning ways. Liverpool back on track for the season. It has been a real tough spell, but they've unleashed the goals that you felt that they probably deserved at the weekend. They couldn't take at the weekend, but they've certainly taken their chances tonight. But it wasn't to start that way. They went 1-0 down, as has been a custom for Liverpool recently. Rasmus Christensen with the opener for Frankfurt. But a 3-goal spell towards the end of the half turned it around. Ugo Ekitike, the former Frankfurt man, levelling for the Reds. Van Dijk tiring with his header from a corner from Cody Gakpo to give Liverpool a lead. Then his centre-back partner, Ibrahim Konate, get in on the scoring action. He got the third just before half-time. It was then when Liverpool continued to dominate in the second half. Gakpo got a goal of his own to make it 4-1. And then wrapping it all up minutes later, Dominik Szoboszlai added a fifth with a coolly tucked finish into the bottom left corner. A quick mention as well to all the Liverpool players tonight. They've actually so much better, but one to Florian Wirtz, who looked a lot stronger as well tonight. He got 2 assists, but I think Liverpool back to their best and certainly showing their best tonight. Final score in Frankfurt, Liverpool back to winning ways. It's finished Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 5. And let's round up all of the scores. A number of games still underway, just coming to a close for you. We will show you all of the scores there. These are all the live scores at the moment. Still goalless in those 2 other games between Monaco and Spurs, and Atalanta and Slavia Prague. They are both still goalless. We will update you if anything changes there, but that will be a great point for Tottenham and Thomas Frank if they come away with a point there after being absolutely dominated tonight by AS Monaco. But they will be joyous to come away with a point there. While those games and the final scores are coming in, let's just remind you of last night's action in the Champions League. It was a 43-goal night. An incredible night of action last night. 7 goals in the game, which saw Barcelona thrash Olympiacos by 6-1. 4 of those goals coming in the latter stages. 2 from Marcus Rashford as well on the night, which really made it easy for Barcelona. A goalless draw between Kairat Almaty and Paphos. But remember, Kairat, it's their first ever point in the Champions League, so a nice record for them. A nice start for them. Arsenal had a great little spell against Atletico Madrid, scoring 4 goals in a number of minutes for the Gunners to really down the Atletico Madrid. As I said last night, they'll not want to come back to England anytime soon. 7 goals they conceded in their 2 trips to England. Victor Gyökeres on the double, as well as the 2 Gabriels getting on the score sheet for the Gunners. It was a record-breaking night for the European champions. 7-2 winners were PSG away at Leverkusen. Can you believe at one point that game was 1-1? Both teams also had a man sent off, and there was a missed penalty in the mix as well in that 9-goal thriller. An unbelievable game. PSG winning by 7-2. Dortmund 4-2 winners away at Copenhagen. Newcastle winning by 3-0 against Benfica. A great result for Eddie Howe's team, who make it 2 wins out of 3 to start the Champions League campaign. Anthony Gordon and 2 goals from Harvey Barnes in the second half made it easy, comfortable night in the end for Newcastle. PSV 6-2 winners against 10-man Napoli. Inter 4-0 winners against Union Saint-Gilloise. And Manchester City making easy work in the end of Villarreal. 2 goals in the first half. Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva, the scorers there. That was last night's results. These are tonight's. And all but 2 of our results are in. So we'll start at the top and work our way down. Athletic Club beat Qarabağ by 3-1. We'll tell you the full details of this one. It was an opener for the visitors. Qarabağ in that one. Andrade opened the scoring. An equaliser from Gurizeta levelled for Athletic Club before they took advantage late in the second half. Navarro and Gurizeta again with his second to make it 3-1 to Athletic Club to pick up all 3 points. It was back-to-back wins for Galatasaray after winning against Liverpool on match day 2. They thrashed in the end Bodo Glimt by 3-1. Victor Osimhen with 2 goals in the first half, followed by Yunus Akgün in the second, and a late consolation from Andreas Heimerson got one back for Bodo Glimt, but the damage was already done. 2 goalless draws, Monaco and Spurs finishing 0-0. Spurs absolutely dominated, and actually Spurs the only English side in the Champions League this match week to not win. Every other English side, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City and Newcastle all winning. Spurs the only team not to have won, but they'd be very happy to come away with a point there in Monaco after they were absolutely dominated on the night, not able to get the win, but a draw will do away from home for Spurs. Atalanta and Slavia Prague slogged out a goalless draw as well. A good result for Slavia Prague at a tough place to go away at Atalanta, but a goalless draw there. Neither side could find the net despite a combined 38 shots for the two teams, but neither were able to find the back of the net. Chelsea were cruising early doors against Ajax. It was all going their way on the night, and Ajax had a man sent off. That was followed up by an opener from Mark Guiu to give Chelsea the lead. Moises Caicedo then doubled that lead. Wout Weghorst from the penalty spot just cut that lead in half to 2-1, but that was the only goal Ajax were going to score tonight. Enzo Fernandez from the penalty spot, followed by an Estevao penalty, made it 4-1 to Chelsea before the break, before it was 5-1 in the second half when Tyreek George added a fifth to the tally. Chelsea winning once more. Liverpool, as I said, back to winning ways. Frankfurt took the lead through Christensen, but goals on the night from Ekitike, Van Dijk, Konate, Gakpo and Szoboszlai made it 5-1 to Liverpool. Bayern Munich made it 3 wins out of 3 as they won by 4-0 on the night. Carl, Kane, Diaz and Jackson, 4 different scorers for Bayern tonight, made it 4-0. Just a one for Real Madrid against Juventus, but a crucial one from Jude Bellingham in the second half to make it 1-0 to Madrid, and they starting well in the Champions League as well. And a turnaround from Sporting against 10-man Marseille as they come 2-1 victors. Passau scoring the opener for Marseille, but they had a man sent off. Emerson, second yellow card for simulation in the first half meant they were down to 10. Catamo equalised before Santos got the winner for Sporting on the evening in Lisbon. That is all of the results from our 18 games across the Champions League match day 3 across the last 2 nights. Let's show you how the table looks then after 3 matches. Let's just recap it then for you. There we are. So sitting top pretty are the champions of Europe, are Paris Saint-Germain, who make it 3 wins out of 3 to start their campaign after that 7-2 thrashing of Bayer Leverkusen last night. A fantastic result for PSG, and that's now 13 goals they've scored in 3 games, so they are firing in front of goal as well. Are the Parisians. Bayern Munich also make it 3 wins out of 3 with their victory tonight, winning by 4-0 on the evening to win comfortably, as do Inter and Arsenal and Real Madrid, all winning their first 3 games. Real Madrid conceding just 1 goal, and Arsenal and Inter haven't yet to concede a goal. Making up the top 8 are Borussia Dortmund on 7 points, Man City on 7, both sides still unbeaten, and Newcastle sneak into the top 8 with 6 points. Barcelona in 9th, followed by Liverpool, who move up to 10th on 6 points with their wins, along with Chelsea as well, making up the top 11. That is 5 of the 6 English sides that are in the competition are all making up the top 11. Sporting then come in 12th on 6, as well as Qarabağ, Galatasaray all on 6. Then comes in 15th are Spurs on 5 points. And then PSV in 16th on 4 points. Along with Atalanta, who are also on 4. And then we move into the bottom section of that mid-table section, if you know what I mean. 18th to 24th, we see Marseille, followed by Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge, Athletic Bilbao, Frankfurt, Napoli and Union Saint-Gilloise make up the top 24. And then into the bottom 12, these are the teams that wouldn't make it through if it was finished as it is today. Juventus, Bodo Glimt, Monaco, Slavia Prague, Pafos, and Leverkusen, followed by Villarreal, Copenhagen, Olympiacos and Kairat. The only two sides without a point after 3 Champions League games are Benfica and Ajax. Right, that is the way it looks then after 3 match days in the Champions League. A reminder for you, match day 4 is in 2 weeks' time, Tuesday the 4th and Wednesday the 5th of November. But it is a much better night for Arne Slot's Reds. They're back to winning ways and they won at a canter. 5 unanswered goals. Ekitike, the former Frankfurt man. The 2 centre-backs, Cody Gakpo, who's on fire. And of course, Dominik Szoboszlai right on the spot. That is a great result for Liverpool. They're back to winning ways. For Frankfurt, it's 5-1 again. Win and 2 defeats, all by a 5-1 scoreline. Bye-bye.